Hello everyone, we are back. Sorry about that, I took a hiatus there for just a week. I was sick, I had a cold, but we're back and doing good. And now I'm going to film a couple videos so that I have a backup just in case this happens again. Anyway, thanks for being patient with me. Welcome to AmourologyEd, where we talk about sex and alternative lifestyles. And today we're going to be talking about alcohol and substance abuse within particularly the polyamorous community, but any sort of alternate lifestyle. Super common, and tips and tricks for how to combat that. Okay, so this is a video I decided to do because I have had so many people come to me and talk to me in private about how they're trying to cut back on alcohol and how it is really, really difficult within the polyamorous community. And I suspect that this is largely the case for a lot of alternative lifestyle communities that revolve around social interactions, and particularly social interactions where sometimes a social lubricant can be really, really useful. So as someone that completely thrives on social lubricant and loves being able to let loose and drink with some friends, I remember there was a time that I went on an elimination diet to see if I was allergic to any foods, and I had to go off of alcohol for a period of time as part of this. And oh my gosh, it was so difficult, particularly because there's always something going on. There's always events. And I remember, particularly for me, like, it was so hard to go to these events, even if I knew my friends would understand, or even if if I wasn't drinking, I just wasn't on the same level as everybody else. Like, it wasn't even the stigma of it necessarily, but I just felt like an outsider the entire time I was there. So oftentimes I would just end up going home early, or I just wouldn't go at all. And I know that a lot of people really struggle with this concept because it's almost self-isolating if you choose to cut back on alcohol. And when I talk about alcohol, I'm going to talk primarily about alcohol, but it's going to refer to any sort of substances that may or may not be in your community. So just know when I talk alcohol, I actually mean the gambit of it. But this concept is when you decide to cut back on alcohol, can be really self-isolating because you just decide not to go to the parties because they're not fun anymore, which means that you're not seeing all your people, which means that you're losing those connections, which means that it's not going to be fun anyway, and then you just get down this rabbit hole. First tip, set a realistic goal. Now, when I say realistic, that just means that you're going to want to take baby steps. If you go from all to nothing, you're not going to like that. It's going to be isolating. You're going to feel like this isn't you, and it's going to be really, really difficult to sustain. So realistic, baby steps. Maybe this means that when you go to parties, you measure your drinks. Oh my gosh, I always free pour my drinks at parties. It would be so easy to just measure it so I know exactly how much I'm getting. Maybe this means that you eat before every party. Maybe this also means that you drink it slowly, like you limit yourself to 1 drink per hour. And or I've done this at events where I have, every time I have a drink, I have an equal glass of water right afterwards or between drinks. That way I know I'm also hydrating as well. Super valuable, but realistic goals. Keep a diary of your drinking, or just write it down. This could be something as simple as taking a marker with you to a party and making a tally mark on your arm every time you have a drink. Pick a day with your family or household structure that is going to be an alcohol-free day. Freedom! This is huge in my family because we have 7 adults. We have 5 adults that live in our family, almost 7. And if one person opens a bottle of wine, nobody else has the willpower to say no to that, particularly if there's just one already open. And you don't want to be the only one left out that's not doing it either. And while that may not seem like a big deal, if this happens every day and you're drinking 1 or 2 glasses of wine with dinner every day and then going out on the weekends, sometimes that can be a lot. So just schedule a day so that everybody understands that this is something that's going to happen and there's not that peer pressure involved within your household. Or better yet, don't keep any alcohol in the house. Ask for support. This is huge, y'all. So many people, like I had mentioned, have come to me in confidence asking or telling me that this was an issue and saying that they didn't feel like they could talk to people about it. There's such a stigma around it, or feeling like you're going to be left out of things, that people don't want to talk about it. Ignore the cat in the background. But no, really, I would much prefer people to talk to me and just let me know, particularly if I'm inviting them over for like dinner events or small gatherings. If you just say, hey, can we make this a non-alcohol event? I'd be like, yes, absolutely. That sounds fantastic. Thank you for bringing that up. And so this is going to bring me to my next step. And this is really going to be a call for action for the people in the community and individually. Okay, tell people, end this stigma, y'all. There's no reason that we should have the stigma around it, because all of us, every single person is trying to cut back on something. Every single person is battling with this in some form or another, and there's nothing wrong about telling people, particularly when you're doing small events, that, hey, just so you know, I don't want to be drinking tonight. Just so you know, this is a thing that I'm trying to just be aware of. You don't even have to say that you're having an issue with it, because maybe you're not having an issue with it. Maybe you're just trying to be aware of it, and that's okay. That has to be okay. Which brings me to my next call for action. And this is something that we can do as a community. As a community, I have realized something that, and I am totally guilty of this too, that every event I host involves some sort of substance, involves alcohol, involves social lubricant, because I'm a social creature and it just makes it easier and I like it. It's fun. So this is something that I'm going to commit to as an individual, but also I want the community to commit to that too. And I would like to see this more within my community and the alternative lifestyle communities around the country and even the world. Host sober events. Don't wait for people to come to you and tell you that they want to have a sober event. Just host it. Just do that. Just be like, hey, I'm having a party. This is going to be a sober event. Everybody bring their favorite mocktail. Everybody bring their favorite non-alcoholic drink or snack or whatever, and make it a thing. Make it a thing, because that is how you are going to end the stigma around it, and that's how you are going to make it easier for other people to combat this and still feel like they're a part of the community. Huge. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember my call to action. And then if you're interested, please hit the subscribe button down below, or the like button, or both, better yet. The reason that this is important is because it's going to make it so that other people can find me easier on the internet and get this really important information that I think is super valuable. Plus, I'm adorable. So also, if you would like to join my Facebook group, you can find it at AmourologyEd on Facebook. There's a page and a group, and then all social media platforms as well at AmourologyEd. You can find me online at www.amourology.net. And if you like what you see, book me for an event, because I travel around and do that, and I enjoy meeting new people. So thank you so much, and please feel free to leave any comments.